Welcome back to my Cafecito talk. This is probably the most glammed up I've been since we've been quarantined and all this craziness that's been going on. I just wanted to do my Cafecito talk that I promised you guys it was going to be 2 times a month, but of course things got crazy in the world and this was not a big priority for me, but the topic does kind of tie into this whole quarantine thing. Grab your cafecito, you guys already know, grab your coffee or drink, whatever. It's airport rules now, so I don't know, just grab a drink, sit back and watch this video, have this little discussion with me. The topic I'm going to be talking about today is binge eating. So we're gonna have to start from day one. I'm gonna go back to when I was 18 and kind of just fill you guys in on my story of binge eating. A lot of you probably don't know that I even struggled with binge eating and this eating disorder because I haven't talked about it in a while, but if you've been following me since like 2016, since I started my account, I definitely have been talking about it every now and then. And whenever I do have like these binge urges, I definitely have talked about it with you guys. So like fix my hair a little bit. Felt weird being like on both sides. So let's just take it back to day one. So back when I was 18, my mom had my little sister Mia. You guys have seen her on my stories all the time. So I was home babysitting my little sister. I was already done with high school and I was home babysitting a lot. Hey Cookie. And of course my mom went back to work, and I feel like it's just a very Latino thing to, you know, help your family as much as you can. And I pretty much raised my little sister. I feel like a lot of us have that same story where we kind of step up and be a parent figure for our siblings. My throat feels like a little itchy. Every time I feel like a weird symptom, I'm like, oh my god, corona. But yeah, let's not think about that. Anyway, so I was home a lot and I was just bored in the house, and every time I hear bored in the house, there's, oh my god, I thought of that TikTok video, you guys know? Well, anyways, I was bored in the house and I just started eating everything that was in the kitchen and, you know, just going back and forth, walking back and forth to the fridge. You guys know the struggle. It ended up turning into a binge eating disorder where you pretty much can't stop eating. You don't really feel full. You just have this sense of just having to continue eating whatever is in your kitchen, whatever you have in front of you. It sounds very strange if you've never dealt with binge eating. I feel like you would be just like, why didn't you just stop eating? Like, why, like, don't you get full? If you struggle with this, you understand you just don't see an end in sight, and you just, I don't know, you just stop when you feel disgusting. And I've definitely been there at times where I just cry afterwards. This is when I was much younger, so it has definitely been a process. I'm 27 now. This was when I was 18, and it definitely continued maybe for about a year, and that's when I started gaining weight, and that's when I just started feeling disgusting about myself, and I hated myself, hated looking at myself in the mirror, going to the mall, trying on clothes. I absolutely hated shopping for clothing. It was this whole stage where I hated even going out because I didn't even want to bother getting dressed to go out with my friends. All this depression, anxiety, all this stuff just started happening, and it all was a result from the binge eating. And of course, when you're binge eating, you're not eating healthy foods. You're snacking on like the worst food that you have in the house, or going through a drive-through. It's not the best choices that you make when you are binge eating. So of course, a lot of these foods have ingredients in them that can result in depression and stuff like that. And I'm gonna tell you guys, one of the main things I used to binge eat when I lived back home with my parents was Doritos. For some reason, there was always Doritos in the house. And even my dad, when he would be coming home from work, he would call me and be like, mija, ¿quieres que te traiga algo? Like, do you want some Doritos, whatever, a sandwich? And I would always get Doritos. I won't buy Doritos. Like, if it's up to me, I will not buy them. If they're around, of course, I will have like a chip or two, but they kind of disgust me now just because I ate them so much, you guys. And so I started looking up the ingredients that were in Doritos just to like kind of scare myself and not want to eat it. So there's this ingredient called Yellow 6 and Yellow 7, which you can actually find in Cheetos and a lot of food that has a yellow color to it. You can find this Yellow 6, Yellow 7 in there. And these two ingredients actually cause anxiety and depression. So I stopped eating Doritos, and it was really hard. This is so weird, like talking about this, like it's like I was addicted to Doritos. It's not that crazy, okay? It's not that like intense. So that basically lasted about maybe a year, I would say. I don't really remember just because that was such a long time ago, but it definitely was a really tough time, and it was really hard to stop. But once I started going to the gym more, and obviously seeing how hard it is to lose weight and drop the fat, of course you don't want to ruin those results. So I feel like when I started going to the gym is when it started to stop, and I started to get more self-control. So now that you guys know a little bit of my background with binge eating, I want to share with you guys a few tips that I use and that I find very helpful, and I always recommend to my clients that suffer with binge eating as well. I'm also going to be answering some questions. I opened my ask box for you guys on Instagram, and you guys sent over a bunch of questions, so I'm going to be answering those and then just sharing my tips with you guys. Okay, so I'm going to get started with 3 tips that I'm going to give you guys in order to have a little more control over your binge eating and ways to have some more self-control. So the first one would be to know your trigger food. So I know that to this day my trigger food is chocolate chip cookies, but more specifically Chips Ahoy. There's a lot of chocolate chip cookies that I don't really care for, but Chips Ahoy for some reason get me every single time. So I try not to keep Chips Ahoy in the house. If there are Chips Ahoy in the house, they will be gone. I'm just being real with you guys. I'm human. I know that my brand is fitness and health, but Chips Ahoy is my one trigger food that I have no shame when it comes to Chips Ahoy, I swear. When I am craving Chips Ahoy, I will usually buy a smaller pack, which is like the 6 cookies I think it is, or the mini ones, something like that, just to get the taste and the craving out of the way. But for instance, my boyfriend sometimes will buy Chips Ahoy. Do you guys hear Dello? He's like crying. Hold on. I had to let Dello in the room because he was crying outside. So anyways, I was talking about Chips Ahoy and my love for them. So the other day, my boyfriend bought a family size pack of Chips Ahoy last week, Wednesday. And he already knows. He knows that's my trigger food. I ate probably a little less than half of the package in that one day, I think, just like snacking throughout the day, and then we watched a movie. You know how that goes. And the package actually lasted maybe until Sunday, so pretty proud of myself that, you know, didn't eat the whole thing in 1 or 2 days. But you know, it happens sometimes. You eat a whole box of cookies, it happens. But if you do have control of keeping these foods out of the house, try your best to keep them out of the house. When you are craving them, maybe buy a smaller quantity of them and get that craving out of the way. Of course, I wouldn't deprive yourself from it because that can lead to a bigger binge down the road. Okay, the second tip would be to keep a food journal and write down all the food that you eat during a binge. So you guys know when you have these binge episodes, you have a bunch of random food. It's not always just one thing. I mean, sometimes it is. Sometimes it's like one big package of something or one big bag of chips. Whatever it is, write down everything that you ate, and after that, write down at the bottom exactly how you feel at that moment. So a lot of the times we feel very shitty, we feel ashamed, we feel disgusting, and write that down. Write down exactly how you feel at that moment, put a date on it. Next day, next moment that you feel like you're gonna binge again, go read your journal and read how it made you feel. Maybe 90% of the time you're not going to want to binge again. You're not going to want to feel that shitty again. So be mindful of these binge episodes that you have, and be mindful that you don't want to feel that way again about yourself. And the third tip I have for you guys is to drink a lot of water. Since I have this big hydro flask of water, I drink this all day long, and I have the little straw part to it, so I don't know why it's more enjoyable to drink drinks with a straw, especially water. So drink a lot of water. So before your meal, drink maybe a glass of water, and then throughout your meal, drink more water, and you're gonna feel more full. Another tip related to drinking water. Are you not getting attention? Okay, Dad came and got Dello, so now I can continue with my video. Did I just say video? Oh my god, my video. So another thing pertaining to the water would be to buy little droplets that you can buy to flavor your water. My nails look horrendous, but we buy these Mio little drops. So they have mango, peach, orange, vanilla. They have a bunch of different flavors. So if you're one of those people that don't enjoy water, which I think is crazy because I freaking love the taste of water, but if you don't like drinking water and you want some flavor to it, buy those. We get them at Target. They're in the soda tea section and they're just in this little rack there, but you can find those. They're super cheap. They have so many different flavors, so that's a really good way to curb some sweet cravings. Soda water is also a really good way to curb your cravings whenever you feel like you have to binge eat or something. Grab a soda water, and I swear that always helps. So the first question here is, after binge eating, how do you come back to eating right and feeling better? It's gonna take a lot of time and a lot of discipline for you to come back from binge eating. It's not something that you can fix overnight. It's like flipping a switch in your brain and just telling yourself that you're gonna have more self-control when it comes to food. You're not going to let food control you. You have control over food. I would start cooking some more healthy and nutritious meals. Don't restrict yourself to a crazy diet that isn't sustainable long term. If you think going keto is going to help you and having 0 carbs, is that something you can realistically do for the rest of your life? Probably not. I know I could not be without carbs. So don't be so focused on picking a diet to kind of repair yourself from binge eating. I would just try to eat some more nutritious meals, be more mindful with what you're eating, have a good balanced diet of protein, fats, and carbs, and just take it day by day. Drink a lot of water, be exercising, and just don't be so restrictive and hard on yourself. What was the first step you took to stop binge eating? The first step I took was probably to start journaling. I think that was probably the first thing I did, and signing up for the gym. Those were the first 2 steps I took, and just being more mindful and accepting the fact that I was binge eating and it is a disorder, and not feeling sorry for myself when I was doing these things. I had to stop making excuses for the actions I was doing, and I just had to accept it and take action in order to stop doing it. So the next question is, how do you stop it for good? So like I said earlier, it's going to take some time. It's definitely a process, just like it is with your fitness journey. It's going to take a lot of discipline on a daily basis, and just learning to have more self-control. I keep saying self-control, but that is really what it comes down to, is having self-control. And you know, you have control of your hand, and you keep going to reach for all these foods and you're literally putting it in your mouth. Like, you have control of your hand. You just have to be more disciplined. And you know, I'm telling this to myself too, because I still have those weak moments of weakness where I am gonna go eat a whole package of Chips Ahoy. And just remind yourself that you're doing this for yourself and your health and your confidence as well. Like, you want to feel good from the inside out. Any advice on stress eating would be helpful. Ooh, stress eating. I am a stress eater. When I'm stressed, I am eating and just like mindlessly eating. So that's another thing, is the mindlessly eating. When you have a bag of chips and you're watching a movie, watching TV, you're just stuffing your face. You're not even really watching what you're eating. You're just eating as you're watching a movie. So what I'll do when I'm watching a movie and I want to snack, instead of bringing the whole bag of chips over to the couch, how about you put some chips into a Ziploc bag and then just have that as your portion and eat that throughout the movie, and then you can just be sipping on your water or your drink, whatever it is that you're having, throughout the rest of the movie. I know it can be a little tough, and sometimes, you know, that idea goes out the window and you bring a whole bag anyways, but if you kind of control the more times you do go for the Ziploc bag, it'll be better for you. The next question is it okay to intentionally have a cheat meal? I do it 2 times a month, but I always feel bad. First of all, don't feel bad about having a treat meal. When I was tracking macros, and I did that for about a year, and I do it every now and then just to like fine tune my nutrition and my calories, see where I'm at. When I was tracking macros, I would do a treat meal at least once a week, and I still do it pretty much once a week. And you should not feel bad when you are having your treat meal. If you are killing your nutrition throughout the week, Monday through Friday, even, I mean, obviously on the weekend as well, you have to keep your nutrition on point, because that one treat meal is not a treat weekend, it's not a treat day, it's one meal, and that's only like a small percentage of your whole week. So if you're killing it the whole rest of the week, you are not going to ruin your progress by having this one treat meal. So keep killing it throughout the week and on the weekend, but that one treat meal that you're gonna have, enjoy it. Don't feel bad about it. That's gonna help you stay sane, stay on track. Obviously, when you are being very restrictive with your diet, that can sometimes lead to a binge, and it's better to just have your one treat meal, enjoy your treat meal, rather than, you know, restricting yourself to the point where it gets even worse than having a treat meal. The next question is, how do you stop eating when you aren't hungry? What meals make you fuller? So you want to look up some fiber-filled foods that you enjoy. So this can be fruits, vegetables, lentils, whole grains. Include some of these into your meals and you're going to feel full longer. You're not going to want to go back and grab more food after this. So just look up some that you enjoy so you don't have to like force yourself to eat something you don't enjoy. But just pick a few that you love and then just include them in your meals. Okay, so the last question is, I crave junk a lot even when I meal prep, so I buy junk instead of eating. How can I help that? I've definitely been there where you meal prep your healthy meals but then you still go for your junk food. So again, try not to keep those foods in the house as much as you can. If you are really craving something specifically, buy a smaller pack of it, enjoy it, and then have your meal. The more that you're eating your healthier foods, you're gonna crave those more. And the more that you're having junk food, there are ingredients in these foods that make you addicted to it and that makes you want to eat more and more of it. Try to go more for the food that you made and that you know is going to be good for you. And it's all mind over matter. I know that the junk food just is so much more appealing and it's just so much more satisfying, but it's only for that like few seconds that you're chewing it, but it's satisfying. Afterwards, you usually feel like shit. So try to enjoy your healthier meal more. Maybe add some hot sauce or something that makes it more enjoyable. Like I usually add buffalo sauce or hot sauce to my meals and it just makes it more enjoyable for me. So try something like that. Alright guys, so that is pretty much everything. I would tell you guys another tip, which would be to get out of the house. That helped me a lot with my binge eating, was to get out of the house, but obviously with the situation we are all in, you gotta stay home. So try to stay busy in your house, read a book, look up, you know, workouts on YouTube. Try to just stay busy, stay active, and you know, try not to snack as much. I know there are a lot of funny memes on the internet right now about eating all your quarantine snacks, and I totally feel you because I've been there. Probably the first week or two of staying safe at home, it was a lot of snacking, you know, but now that we have an extended date of staying safe at home, I really am accepting that this is our lifestyle for another month, or, you know, I don't know how much longer it's going to be after that, but there's a lot of things that we could control. Obviously, the situation is out of our hands, but what we're doing at home, we have control over. You know, I'm still getting my workout in the mornings. That's keeping me sane, and I'm trying my best with my nutrition, but you know, we just got to make the best of it and we're gonna get through this. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any comments or you found any of these tips helpful, comment down below what was your favorite one and which one you're gonna apply to your life. And if you just want to have a little chit chat on Instagram, send me a DM. I love talking to you guys. Thank you guys for joining this video and I will see you in the next one.